So, Roblox is a great game. But again, that's because they have like a lot of good games and a lot of bad games. But I play a lot of the good games. Another thing I love is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I really love it. Everybody does. I'm so glad they're doing like the releasing phase 4 finally. Finally! I haven't checked out the DCEU yet. I watched Man of Steel. I didn't really like it. That's basically it. So, cinematic universes have been known after Marvel to try and copy this success and have basically all failed really badly. Like, really, really badly. And that's basically like they become infamous now. But outside of Monsterverse, which a lot of people like, I'm not so big on it, but at least if a lot of people do like it, that's a good. But that is ending. What I think was the second is fan made, and due to this, we'll have what fans want. And it's also based on a thing that has a lot of ideas. That is Roblox. Roblox is the best place to start a cinematic to have a cinematic universe, and it's the best place not to have like, oh, I want to kind of make a sort of cinematic universe. It will be quite different. It will be fan made and actually start YouTubers, Roblox at least. If they quit it, they can actually still start, but they must have they must have more side roles. And if they just quit, that actually is a rule. So, what's the best Roblox game? It is Jailbreak, and it used to be the most popular. Like, it's not as popular now, but it's still the default game on Roblox. What's the best thing to start a cinematic universe? Well, I mean, for the MCU, they did do Iron Man, who's pretty unknown, but in the comics realm, that was known. Jailbreak is known, but unlike other games, I don't think it's as infamous with strict parents. Yeah, even though like some don't like, kids being rewarded for killing police, it's still really good. It's really replayable, and I think it has the best merit for starting this cinematic universe. What would the plot of the film be? So I have felt, what should the plot be? So one thing I've read is that a cinematic universe should start off like it's one film. So in case it's not a success, it could just stay there as a singular film. And for the first 3 films, that will kind of be the way. Outside of the Jailbreak sequel, I'll be filming close to the same time. I'll film both. I will. The other ones, for the 3 in between, those will be very individual as well. Until it's successful, the other ones will start tying into each other. So it will all start with Jailbreak, as you know. So why did I repeat that? It's bummer. I don't read scripts, so it makes sense. So it starts off with, what's the classic thing in Jailbreak? A robbery at the bank. So some criminals have teamed up from the original base in the city, and have said, yeah, we will start robbing the bank. But that will be quick. They went to the bank robbing it, and it'll be filmed like a spy film. So basically, they're going through it, and it will use the first classic template. They're going through the wiring, taking out all their money, or as we will call it, Robux. And then after all the Robux, 'Bucks, they decide next they're going to get after that, the police are notified and they immediately rush forward using the second Jailbreak police station. They'll go through that, and what will happen next is they will arrest them. That was so ironic. I just got arrested when I was saying arrest. Okay, so quick reminder before I get back into it. This part, just so I know if you actually managed to point this out, sounds a lot like the first Iron Man film. I just wanted to let you guys know that, so if you want to, just put it down in comments. But again, The Force Awakens is basically just a copy of A New Hope. Okay, so let's go back to the story. So, except for one who actually shoots down this individual police who I call Game Master. Basically, think of like Creekcraft for this. Think of if he was in this role. So, he is arrested and taken to a prisoner base. So, this takes place like in 2017 when the film first came out. So, none of the new maps, none of the expansion is saying no nuke stuff. It's very simple. So you could say it's the volcano base they bring him to, or that generic one, or they just one in the city. The volcano base could be good, and that most likely it could be. But another idea as a nod is I think that could be a good plot point to start this kind of thing up in the second part of this, which I'll cover the first act and the first part of the second act today. So he's taken to there. I think it could actually be the prison life base. We won't spend too much time in prison life, but I think it's just a nod to like the old players who used to play Roblox. The new one won't understand it, which is why I think the volcano base or the old one could make sense, but yeah, let's just do it. So what happens next is that there's a few people there. So what happens is they've taken over the prison life area. As well as they've implied they've also taken over the game Redwood. However, we don't really see that. And we kind of see how it's difficult. All the police are the prisoners, and basically they have a strict time code. They can't really get out without certain things. He understands now, like he's one of those, have you ever seen those the police who just comes up, hey, don't do that, and arrests you. Like, I haven't taken the key card, but they arrest me before that. Why? I don't know why. So they just arrest them. I mean, this is before they stopped, having innocence. I read on the Jailbreak wiki. And next, and he realizes this is a bad thing because they're always like hurt. A friend he knew from when he was younger during the Great Roblox War, which we'll expand on later in this phase, he meets up who was a scientist but who was kidnapped for creating weapons, aka nukes, that could destroy their team. So they put him in custody, and he sees. So they decide to escape together using things. They managed to shoot down a lot of the criminals and managed to get out during a big rampage. Eventually they decide to hang out around about that kind of town there, and he phone call the Jailbreak police. So he had a friend there known as SWAT-Man, who is a SWAT. I was thinking if Master was Creekcraft, this would be my username 188 whatever. My username this. But again, he quit, so I don't know. Just a random person, a random one of the richest players. I don't know. One who could be a SWAT. I don't know. So he's asked to rescue them. So he goes all the way to prison life, takes all of the police, send them back to prison, send them back over to Jailbreak, and if they can, they send them back to a abandoned prison known as Redwood Prison. And some of them don't want to be a police anymore and sent to a city, which is mad. So they want to stay, decide to form a team. So that's the end of Act 1. Act 2 starts quite later. They think that was over and that was like the first of Jailbreak's quests. But no, it wasn't. It was only the beginning. So the second act will start with the police, like the criminals. One survived, known as Waku Maku Wuku. What? And who is a child who's jealous of a YouTuber. And we have another child and has his best friend known as Rich Boy, who isn't actually rich. I've noticed a lot of kids name themselves Rich Kid, probably to have a press on older players. So the plot is... So what they do is they start hacking over Jailbreak. Basically, they take over the police, so the police start attacking the prisoners. Prisoners get always an advantage, so the police aren't alerted. And also, it's not just a bank. They rob a gas station. They rob a jewelry store. There's a town that's built, and they rob their donut shop that's there. Basically, they basically rob whatever they can. So the police is this thing is built over time. So the game master and those other players start realizing that. And he realized that maybe someone survived. So they start investigating. So they decided to go to criminal bases, and they realized something has been built. So there is that police, but that really has been abandoned with a few cars and they think should be refurbished into a garage. And I think they refurbished into a garage, I should say. And but they're not really there. And they told them there's a bigger thing. They are located in a volcano, which was actually this is how we explain the volcano base. They actually built through the volcano where they are now. And they realize something's going on. Before a new robbery in the jewelry actually accidentally is alerted because they tell him to alert them. And they alert him about the jewelry store, and they go there. It leads to another fight, and then they realize this isn't alright. There's something that is going on. It's known as jailbreaking. So that's part 1 of the story. That's in my mind, if this was a 2.5 hour thing, this would be the first hour and 15 minutes. You can't really... So, yeah. So that's the story so far. So, this will be expand on to Star Wars Cinematic Universe. This so far. This isn't the second film we'll expand on. This is just part 1 of the entire story. In the comments, let me hear your thoughts on all of this. And I'd like to... is there any ideas you want me to have in future films? Not this one. I have the plot planned for the 2 Jailbreak films. Is there any games you'd like me to expand on? Which I do have a plan on, but you can decide. Well, like, subscribe, comment, share, and have a good time. Goodbye.